Hello, tubes of YouTubes, or people of YouTube. I have been away for some time, although admittedly this kind of absence is probably normal for me, which in a way is kind of sad, but I'm something. Not maybe back, maybe not, I don't know yet. I'm currently on vacation, so I'm able to do this. Now, for the first episode at least, maybe a couple episodes, I don't know, it's not going to be a live recording of this, so this audio that I'm currently doing is not happening with the gameplay that you're seeing on the screen. It's happening like a week or so after. Yeah, so I'm kind of got the Terraria itch there. I wanted to play Terraria for a while now, actually, but I didn't have the time, and then finally got the time, and I didn't have my microphone, so I just went ahead and started recording some of my gameplay. But now I'm on vacation, and so I was able to get my microphone, and that's what you're currently hearing me through. I'm not in the room that I was in when I used to do my YouTube stuff. Let's TV's on. Turn that off. Okay. So, I don't know about the audio quality, although I never quite figured out how to make audio sound good anyway, so that doesn't really matter, I suppose. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's get into the gameplay here of what I've been doing. What I intend to do, at least for the few episodes since this isn't live, I'm going to be skipping a lot of the boring stuff. Normally, for the first couple of nights, I just have that all up there, but then again, that's usually live. This isn't, so there's no point in it. It's just me trying to survive for the first couple of nights and building a house and mining some shit, I believe. I'm playing this on a potato of a laptop that can't quite run the game. So if you look in the lower left, you'll see a frame counter. Now, the game is supposed to be running at 60 frames per second, but as you can see, it's struggling with that. There's not much I can do about that. It's a potato of a laptop. I'm also editing the video on said potato of a laptop, so that kind of sucks. And I also do not have access to Shadowplay anymore, which sucks. Instead, I am currently using some sort of video recording software that actually came with Windows 10. It's like some sort of Xbox recording software. I don't quite know what to call it. But it seems to do the same thing as Shadowplay, but a lot shittier. It's recording at 30 frames per second, so the game's running at the game is supposed to be running at twice the frame rate that the laptop is capable of recording it, which is interesting. I'm not quite sure how that's working. Maybe it's like recording or saving every other frame, or trying to. I don't know. It seems to also be a variable frame rate that it's actually doing, which means that I have to run it through a conversion program to make it a stable frame rate before I can edit it. Speaking of which, I do not have access to my Adobe software. I stuck that in storage somewhere. I have no idea where it went. And I'm not going to buy the stupid subscription thing. So, my current editing software that I'm using is Blender. I figured I'd give that a try, see how that works out for me. Hopefully everything works out. I'm not quite sure how this whole thing is going to turn out. Hopefully it turns out alright, or at least my usual shitty quality. Oh yes, also because on the last playthrough, I managed to get 100% of the achievements, every single one of them I got, but this is a new laptop and it doesn't remember all the achievements that I had. Steam still does, so Steam still shows that I have 100% achievements. The laptop does not, so I'm going to be trying to get 100% achievements again, even though we're kind of past the Halloween and Christmas season, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do about those events, but that's a problem for later on. So let's go ahead and just start talking about the gameplay itself here. I got really unlucky with my spawn here, because just a little bit to my left, I have kind of the snow-crimson biome mix, which is not good to deal with early game. And just a little bit to my right, I have jungle, so there's no surface exploration in the early game for me. My only option, elevator. High priority on my list is to get a bucket of lava. But while digging down, I encounter a whole bunch of other things. I die a lot, and I got really, really lucky as I quickly found a chest in the ice biome that crosses underneath my base. And it contained a magic mirror thing. I can't remember what it's called. It's like an ice mirror or something like that. Really, really lucky find to be my first chest, because with that I can just teleport to the surface. Not that I'm usually able to before I die, but I can do it. I have that ability now, which is great. And then I continue on down, encounter a few other chests, gather some more, die a shit ton more. And after hours of footage that I'm just going to cut out because nothing of interest happens, I finally find lava. And with this, I can begin construction of my first grinder in Terraria. Okay, so on to the design of the grinder itself. Now, there's nothing really too special about this. It's just basically a hole in the ground. If you've seen my previous playthroughs of Terraria, it's basically the same thing. It's the build that I probably would be famous for at this point if people watched my stuff, but since nobody watches my stuff, this is probably the first time you're seeing me build it. No, correction. This is the first time nobody sees me build it because... Oh wait, this isn't the first time of that. Anyway, nobody watches my crap, so... Moving on. It's just a hole in the ground, got some bit of lava on the bottom. I think I determined that 8 blocks, was it, maybe? I don't remember off the top of my head. And I'm too lazy to watch the video to see what I come up with. But basically it's just enough lava that it hurts you if you stand on it, but not enough to destroy any items that drop on it. This is very important because the whole point of this is to get those items. And I built a couple of rooms next to it for NPCs. One for the guide, who's annoying, and... well, he's useful later on when you need to summon the wall of flesh. But the more important one is the merchant, who will be giving me my never-ending supply of rope, which I need for my elevator. Oh, also, there's a slight change to how I'm going to be doing my grinders in this series. In my previous series, what I did to discourage spawns in areas that I didn't like was I'd dig them out and just fill it up with lava. This was largely successful, but there were still things that could spawn in the lava, which was a problem. So this go around, I'm going to try to actually put down a wooden wall around the whole thing to discourage spawns. This should work a lot better, as it should get everything, as that nothing can spawn in front of user-placed walls. So hopefully that'll work. I haven't quite finished it yet at the time of recording this audio, so which is after all this video that I've currently been showing. Yes, you get what I'm saying. So I'm just gonna stop tumbling down this tree here. And then at one point, while I was actually AFK and using the grinder, the state of California swooped in and took all of the money I had gotten from my YouTube partnership program thing back when I was still a partner of YouTube and could run ads on my videos. Trying to think of how to weave that in because Slime King got me while I was AFK. And killed me who knows how many times. I eventually killed it. Well, with a bit of effort. And, where'd that letter go? And while I was away at work, apparently a letter came from me from the state of California. Or no, it was sent by Google, informing me that the state of California... Alright, let's just have a look at this. Okay, so dear me, PwC has been retained by Google to assist with its unclaimed property, blah 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 blah, and annual filing process. As part of our internal audit review, Google has identified some money which they need to give to California. Yeah, I'm not reading this verbatim. I'm just paraphrasing. And basically, they took all the money I had gotten from the partnership program with YouTube and gave it all to California. Admittedly, I was probably never actually going to claim that money, so something was going to happen to it eventually. It wasn't a whole lot, not really enough to get to Scott. It's just funny that they did this while I was away from my home. Almost like they knew. Kind of like this Slime King who attacked me while I was away from my computer. I don't know how many times I died to the Slime King. A funny thing is, I thought the Slime King could only spawn like close to the edges of the world, and I believe I'm like in the center of the world. So did the spawning rules change for him, or am I thinking of something else completely? Is there some other like mini boss that only spawns near the edge of the world that I thought was the Slime King? That's interesting. I'll need to investigate that at some point. Not right now because I'm too lazy, but at some point in the future I will need to investigate this. Yes. Alright, so at some point after all that, I went ahead and started construction of the, wall thing? I don't know what to call it. Along the side of the grinder. Flattened out the tops of the grinder along the side and built a little tree farm on top to supply me with all the wood that I need. And that's actually kind of everything that I've done so far. This was a live recording. This probably would have gone on for 4 or 5 episodes, but it's been what, like 10 minutes and we're done here? I feel like this should be longer. Don't know if I should end the episode here or if I should like continue it with like live recording from here on out, or no, I'm just gonna end the episode here. This will be just a shorter episode, and any of the ones that follow will probably be like live recorded in, you know, slower paced, I guess. Geez, how much footage did I have? I don't know how much footage we just went through. I'm just gonna look that up real quick here. Okay, so how much footage? How much time? 10 hours. 10.5 hours. We just went through 10.5 hours worth of footage in approximately 10 minutes. So that's interesting. Alright, well, I guess I'll see you guys in the next episode.